Everyone, so apologies for the camera being so up close and personal, but today we're going to be talking about getting natural eyebrows. And I know that it's kind of been a trend in recent years that we're all really obsessed with our eyebrows and wanting really thick, full eyebrows. And I love thick eyebrows, I love really full eyebrows, but I also prefer my eyebrows to have a little bit more texture and for the hair in my brows to be more visible rather than it being a block brow, which is very popular nowadays. So if I kind of show you, if you can see, these are what my brows look like without any product in them. My brows are quite dark because I'm quite dark haired, and my brows grow so quickly as well. It's a nightmare. I mean, I have to pluck my eyebrows every couple of days. They don't like grow in properly, and what I'll usually do is have like a proper pluck and thread on a Sunday, for example, and then throughout the week I'll just pluck any stray ones. I like doing it like that rather than letting it all grow and doing it then. I just feel like I kind of look a bit more groomed and I like a tidy brow. It drives me nuts when they're not. But you can see that my eyebrows are completely different shapes as well. My eyebrows sit differently on my face, because my face is so not symmetrical. This brow is higher than this brow, but they're not as thick as I have had them in the past, and I do struggle getting them to grow out kind of in this area here in the outer part, but I'm generally pretty happy with them. I mean, I think they could do with being kind of a little bit thicker here in this part, and that's where I kind of fill them in, but I don't like that very blocked off square brow right here. I just think it doesn't look very natural, and I don't really like it when you see people who have filled their brows in completely, so you see no texture of brow, it just looks like makeup. I think that looks a little bit harsh, and I like to kind of see the texture of the brow in there. Choosing the right brow colour is really important as well, because you don't want anything that's warm. You need something that's kind of cool toned, a little bit grey, a little bit mucky coloured. And I find, because my hair's dark and my brows are dark, I usually pick a colour that's maybe a little bit lighter if I'm using a pencil. And if I'm using a powder, then I'll go for something cool toned like this, for example. This is by Essence and it's the Brow Stylist Set. And I'll use the darker shade here. This one, it's kind of got a little bit of grey in it and it just works really, really nicely. But I'm going to fill my brow in with this one, which is my favourite at the moment. I've actually repurchased this, I used it up. And it's the Soap and Glory, the Archery, in the colour, I think it's like Blonde Shell, that's what the colour is called. And this is really good because it's got a little spoolie on one end and then the pencil on the other end, and you can see the pencil. If I swatch it on my hand for you, you have to kind of warm this pencil up. It's not the most kind of pigmented on its own, but it's just a kind of minky colour. It's not a very dark colour, and I just feel like I just need a little bit of filling in the gaps. Because my brows are dark, I don't need to add tons and tons of colour into them, so I like to just kind of define the shape a little bit. So I'm going to come a little bit closer, and what I always do is I brush them up, because I feel that way you expose kind of where you have gaps. And then I just like to kind of go in and do feathery small strokes. I also like to kind of extend it just slightly, because I feel like it kind of balances my eye a bit better. And when I did my makeup this morning, it was really funny because I didn't do my brows because I wanted to do it on camera, and I just felt like my face was so off balance, like something really wasn't right. So this, like I said, it's a waxy pencil, it's not the most pigmented, but I like that about it because I just want a really kind of natural brow. And that is pretty much all I'll do. Sometimes if I feel like it, I'll take a little bit through here just to kind of connect everything. And then I always make sure that I brush through, because I feel like that softens everything. And that's it. And then I'll go ahead and do the same on the other brow, but the other brow does require a little bit more work because it's my not so good brow. So again, I'll brush everything up, and you can see, I mean, it's a completely different shape. It's square in the inner corner. I've kind of tried to get them the same, and when I've had them done by someone else as well, it actually just ends up looking worse. I like doing them myself because I feel like I've kind of got the most control over it. And to be fair, every time I've ever had them done, they always make them thinner than I want. It's like that thing with going to the hairdressers, I feel, with brows. Unless you find someone that's really good, they always end up being thinner than I wanted them to be. And then here I've kind of got this part, it's a little bit paler, well, not as much colour in the hair. So I just fill that in, but very, very lightly. Like I said, I don't like it to be really kind of block brow. And this part here could do with a little bit of a trim actually. Just extend it a little bit. And that's about as good as it gets with this brow. This is my bad one. So that's what it looks like when I've just got pencil in. And like I said, I prefer using pencil at the moment. I used to always be kind of a powder fan, but I like the colour and the feeling of that pencil. I then always like to use a brow gel just to keep them in place because mine are quite long and they are quite unruly and it just looks a little bit weird. So, sorry, the lighting went really weird there, didn't it? It is so horrible outside today. It is like dark. It's like summer is coming, said who? But a couple of options I've got here. Some I like more than others. Two that are three actually that are quite similar are these three. And we've got the Essence Make Me Brow, which would be really good, but I find the texture to be too wet and it goes everywhere. It's similar to the Benefit Gimme Brow, which I'll show you in a minute, in that it has a lot of fibres in it, but I feel like they just kind of are messy and I don't really like that one very much, to be honest. Benefit Gimme Brow is still probably my favourite because I can use this and build my brow without putting any pencil in it. Probably not the best if you've got fairer brows, it might not work in the same way. But on my brows I love this, it's really, really good. I do think it's ridiculously expensive for how much you get though. And then also the Clinique version, which is just very small. This one I like, but I do feel like it doesn't have as much hold as the other ones. The one that has the most hold, but I'm not as keen on the brush though, is the Maybelline Brow Drama in dark brown. Let me use two different ones actually. I'll use the Clinique one. Actually no, I'll use the Benefit one on one brow and the Maybelline one on the other. I am going to work later on, so hopefully I don't look too mental, but... So I'll just brush it through in the direction that you want them. I generally think they look nice, kind of pointing upwards. I just think it kind of looks quite youthful, but youthful, like, you know, like I'm 40. Not that there's anything wrong with being 40, but I don't know why I want them to look that youthful. Just like that, and that's it. I like kind of quite a, if you look quite closely you can still see the texture of my brows through them, and I like that. I like being able to see that your brows are individual hairs because that's kind of what they are. And then what I like to do is to always put a bit of a highlight under my brow. So I will use one of these two, either the Clarins Instant Light Pencil, which, not pencil, kind of t-shirt flat type of thing, or the light shade in the Maybelline Eye Eraser. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a different one on each eye. So I just take it all under my brow area, up to the arch even, like that, and then just blend it out. Sorry, that was my chair. And I really feel like that kind of defines your brow and makes it look really kind of nice and clean. And then with the Maybelline one, this is the lighter shade. I actually use this all the time, but this is the light one I've got on today. Well, no, sorry, not the light one. The light one's not the one I've got today. The light one's the one I use to highlight. And with this, I'll also do kind of a stripe on the other side of my brow because I feel like it just looks good. But blend it out. And this is something I've always done for years, even before I really wore proper makeup. I just feel like it just kind of awakens the area a little bit. But that's it. That's how I get kind of fairly natural looking brows. These might look really unnatural to some people and they might be really kind of overdone for some people, or other people might think that they look really messy and ungroomed. It's kind of, you know, horses for courses, but I like how they look kind of a little bit more undone and less of a block brow. I have had them done like that when I've had my makeup done. I went to an event recently where they did my makeup and she did them like that and I didn't like it. I just felt like it looked really harsh on me. But then on other people they can look really great. So you know, it's totally up to you how you want to do them. But those are the products and the tips that I like to use to do them so they look natural. Two products though that I think I don't recommend in the shape of them, but I think it's a little bit weird, are products for your brows that have just a mascara wand like that where it's quite large. This is the Rimmel Brow This Way. I don't like how big that is. I feel like you can't get much control. And this is also one by Etude House, and it's very similar again. This one's a little bit better because it's tapered towards the end, so you can get in there, but the colour of this doesn't suit me. It's a little bit too warm. But these two are colours that are probably better suited. That's slightly paler brown to someone who has lighter hair, but they don't suit my needs in that I feel like they're a little bit wet and they go everywhere. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know about your brows. What do you like to use on them? How do you like them? What's kind of your favourite type of brow? Like, I always think that Beyonce has amazing brows. But yeah, I mean, I like a nice defined brow. I think it really makes your face look framed and pulled together, and I'm so glad that kind of, you know, we're not all plucking our brows into oblivion anymore, which I did when I was younger. Like, I literally had a line, but luckily enough I'm so hairy that they grew back. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will talk to you in the comments below. Bye.